Are you struggling to complete a run on hard mode? Do you feel like it's impossible to get through hard mode? Do you keep dying in hard mode even when you feel like you're having a great run? If you said yes to any of these questions, stay tuned for some essential tips that will completely change the way you approach higher difficulties in Roboquest. Just keep in mind you must successfully complete a run on hard difficulty in order to unlock the Guardian difficulties, which start from Guardian 1 and goes all the way up to Guardian 4. After a lot of testing and many hours of grinding, I've defeated hard mode. Here's what I learned. The most single important thing is to follow a build guide for a class you're most comfortable with. You'll also want to choose a class that isn't too difficult to set up during a run and can maintain a high defense with a high damage output. I roughly followed Haterax's Guardian build and run to get a general sense of what perks, weapons, and abilities I should focus on, which I'll go over later on in the video. My successful hard mode run ended with me being able to shoot nearly endlessly with a bottomless clip at a super high rate of fire. If I eliminate enemies, I get infinite ammo, stacked with maximum fire rate and invincibility with Bastion. Once you obtain better knowledge of each class, you'll be able to put something together that better suits you and how you play the game, while also being able to come up with some crazy combinations of your own. Like the video if you're a robot trying to get through hard mode. The second most important thing to do is to stop playing on easier difficulties unless you're absolutely stuck getting through standard or easier difficulties.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more!
You should only be playing on Discovery if you're trying to obtain quest items, power crystals, gadgets, or doing some general testing. This is because playing on easier difficulties opens you up to having bad habits, which in the long run becomes harder to break. For example, after many hours of recording footage on Discovery for my tutorial videos, I got so used to being able to run out in the middle of every gunfight with minimal movement, and then I just started doing that in hard mode, just to be met with defeat every single time. Bad habits could also come from playing other games. If you're playing a different game that requires a different type of strategy or play style, if you carry that over into Roboquest, then that could potentially hurt your chance to having a successful run. Trust me, I do this too, not just in Roboquest, but when I'm playing other shooters, I try to play them like I'm playing Roboquest, and I just get absolutely melted. Or maybe I'm just trash.
Know your freaking place, trash.
You do not have to play this game as fast as other people do, so just slow down. You may want to play as fast as humanly possible, which is honestly extremely fun to do in Roboquest, but it is also the riskiest way to play. When playing on hard, you need to utilize cover, especially if you're not making use of abilities that provide a defensive layer such as Ranger Stealth or Guardian's Bastion. This is something I personally struggled with the most, as I'm generally super aggressive and a rush heavy person when it comes to shooters. Utilize the power crystals to your advantage. Go for all the power crystals, as this makes the funnel area easier and more manageable to go through. If you haven't unlocked all of the power crystals yet, then I have a detailed guide you can watch on how to unlock all of the power crystals in Roboquest. Just keep in mind the more power crystals you have active, the more elites will appear throughout the entirety of your runs. You'll also want to make use of all of the gadgets in the game except one particular one, which I'll come back to in a moment. Utilizing the gadgets in Roboquest means you'll be able to have high mobility, better damage output, increased power cells, and increased healing when purchasing items with power cells. However, there is one gadget that can really screw up your runs, and that's the sunglasses. The sunglasses increase your damage by 30%, but the trade-off is that you lose 25% of your maximum health. 25% may not seem like a lot at first, but once you start reaching the energy center, you'll really start to feel it. At class level 14, this means with the glasses, you'll only have 570 health. Without the glasses, you'll have 760 health. Removing the sunglasses drastically improved the quality of my runs on hard difficulty. If you haven't unlocked all of the gadgets in Roboquest yet, then feel free to check out my in-depth guide on how to find all of them. If you're looking for a build to follow, you can try out my Guardian's maximum fire rate, which focuses on making use of maximum fire rate while maintaining infinite ammo. Here's what you need. For the weapons, you'll want to find guns that have large magazines with high fire rates. A good example would be the junk beam and the windmill rifle. Try to roll affixes that provide reflect and elemental damage to better scale your damage. If you pair these weapons with the upgrades quick trigger, which you can take twice, size matters, and homemade ammo, then you'll be absolutely melting everything in your path. For perks, it's absolutely vital to grab Stim's bubble, which can then be upgraded with Ravage, which grants infinite ammo while Bastion is active. For items, you'll want air freshener for survivability, coffee mug for even higher fire rates, bow tie and ugly tie for bossing, french fries for Bastion cooldown, and a stapler which provides infinite ammo for 1.5 seconds after taking down an enemy. Stapler is a rare perk, but it's not vital to make this build work. You can also grab items and upgrades that'll scale elemental damage, but is low priority early run. In essence, prioritize fire rate and maintaining DPS with infinite ammo while scaling elemental damage. I'll create a more in-depth video for this build soon, so keep an eye out for that. Make use of your completed yellow zones in each area. For example, the Quarry's yellow zone gives you a free level if you interact with the dynamite. The Ruins drops a level up if you interact with the dead robot's body. Oasis gives 2 legendary perk options to choose from while also having an area to upgrade your buddy bot, shovel, or starting pistol at the checkpoint. The stapler item I mentioned earlier does drop at the Oasis yellow zone too, so deciding where to go is dependent on the build you're running and your current needs in the run. I find myself utilizing this every single run and can truly be a game changer.